Welcome to astrology.com, and this is my video for this week beginning October 10th to 24, 2021. As with everything, change is the only constant that we know in life. And you would note that I have made a change in my Tarot and Patra reading, and it's still the same videos, it's still the same information. I have just given myself some breathing room in this time. So join me today for a brighter day with Vedic astrology to guide you over the sea of life. Astrology welcomes you to subscribe, sign up, share, where you can get your Patra readings, your runes, your tarot spreads, your chakras and crystals information. I ask that you visit my website to get further information. This information would not be new to my subscribers, but with all things, change happens and new subscribers come in every day or, at any given time. So this is here for the information of my new subscribers, just a feedback part of what I included in my videos to give you a sense of what is happening with Vedic astrology and how we look at the sky and the division of the sky into the 12 zodiac signs, the 27 nakshatras and the padas of the nakshatras, and each nakshatra has 4 padas and each zodiac sign has 9 padas. So at your leisure you can read my little clips on this and give me feedback and let me know if there is more understanding that I need to bring to you on this video about the division of the skies in Vedic astrology. Okay, the transit of the grahas for the week beginning October 10th 2021 shows us a concentration on the rashis or the zodiac signs of Libra, Virgo and Scorpio. So these 3 signs here have the planets moving. You would see there are no more planets here in Libra, the sign of that is owned by Venus. Venus has moved across to Scorpio to join Ketu, and Moon is there at the beginning of this week, so that we have a lot of hidden things, a lot of secrets on our mind, or probably the spiritual guidance is there with Ketu, who represents moksha and liberation. We still have ascendant Sun, Mars and Mercury here in Virgo, and Mars is still combust. Mars is still combust here because Sun is here at 24, Mars is at 23, and we have the ascendant at 24. So that Mars is still combust and we are looking at not having the energy, we being lazy, we procrastinating, we don't want to do things, or if we start things we don't want to finish it because we just don't have the energy for it, because Mars is there being combust. Mars is our energy, our passion, our action, and Sun is overwhelming Mars at this point in time, and Mars is actually just 1 degree from Sun, and the ascendant, you're representing yourself. Yourself is sitting with Sun. So how would you feel sitting outside in the noon, with that hot sun on your back or on your face, and that you are just boiling in that heat? You just don't feel to do anything, so that is how you're feeling right now. And Moon here with the Moon here with Venus and Ketu, you might be thinking about your luxuries or your assets, but you may want to hide it away from people and don't want them to know what you have this week, because at the end of the day, some things need to be kept away from others. You don't need to share everything. And recently on the social media, people tell you that, be careful of what you share. Hold back on some things. Don't be open about what you have and where you're going and, where you're holidaying, or when your house would be bare of people, or, the security issues are there. So this might be some of the things you have to look at this week. And we also have here Pluto is no longer retrograde, and Pluto remains in Uttara Ashada, however, in Pada 2 at Vargotama. So that again, the god of the underworld, secrets, things that are kept from you or things that are taken away from you. So think about that this week and understand that some things are just not supposed to be shared, and that while your soul may desire through Jupiter to be structured and have discipline because he's in the house of Saturn in Capricorn, he is also weak or debilitated in Capricorn, so that your desires may be just, let me ruminate on or think about or reflect on what I have learned or what the elders have taught me or the guidance they have given me, and let me reflect on that and see where it's going to take me. And that is what this week begins with for you, and let's think about it. And if you look at it, you'll see on the chart to your right that you have Virgo, Libra, Virgo and Scorpio. So these are the three rasis that will have the movements within the padas. As you see, they're moving from pada 2 and Mercury here, pada 4, 3, 2 and goes back to 3. So Mercury is going back and forth, so your communication is going to be kind of all over the place, chaotic for this week, beginning this week. And that is something you need to just keep in the back of your mind and understand that hold your mouth. Don't talk to people about your secrets or your assets or your siblings or your courage or your family, because what house is Virgo for you? What house is Virgo for you? And that is where you'd have to hold your communication on, or be careful how you communicate. And you can know what this house is for you if you request your report on ZDAMastrology.com. So think about it, understand where you're going and what you have to do, and work accordingly. Work according to what the stars are telling you this week and aligning for you. So we are here today once again with that previous secrets and moksha with Ketu and Venus. Let us see what the cards are going to throw up for us this week, and this is the selection of the tarot cards and the spreads. And I'm starting off with the Chakra Wisdom, the energy card that will guide us and try to encapsulate some kind of energy that we may be guided upon. And the first card is Quest, and Quest is the card of searching. What are we searching for? Are we searching for peace? Are we searching for action? Are we searching for some kind of energy? What it is that we are searching for, and it's a journey also, what journey are we going to go on? So let's move on and see what the planet is for this week. Card fell out, it didn't come up right though, so we'll continue shuffling. And the card, the planet for this week, let us see what is happening. And that card is Venus. Interesting. So Venus is we just spoke about Venus and Ketu with Moon in Scorpio with secrets and hidden assets. So you're not really supposed to talk about your assets. Be sensitive about it. Be confidential about it. You don't want your security to be compromised. So let us look at the element. And the element is water. And water is a continuing theme of hidden things, of underworld, of Neptune, of deep oceans where you can't see what is happening under you or beyond your scope or beyond your sight. Okay, and two cards fell out here, and they fell out upright, and it is the 6th house and the 11th house. So the 6th house and the 11th house is a focus on debts, on loans, on enemies, on work, on secrets, on your routine. The 11th house is about your network, communication. And remember, Mercury is chaotic, as Mercury is moving through the padas quite quickly for this week. And he's retrograde in his own house. So while he might be comfortable saying the wrong things, or saying the wrong things to the wrong people, or the wrong things to the right people. So we have to look at that closely in terms of communication and debts and loans in the 6th house. and Venus came up again. The deity this week is Buddha, the Buddha, and this is aligned with K2, so we seem to be focusing on Scorpio this week. And what house does Scorpio represent for you? Because the Buddha is all about non-violence and passing knowledge on to, one another, and not really divorcing yourself or detaching yourself from the material world, and what is that about? And okay, Three of Pentacles has just turned itself over there, and I will use it as an extra card, as to some other message that the deities want us to bring through in their energies. So we would look at that and see what the Three of Pentacles require us to do for this week. So let us see the first card in the tarot spread, and I've gone back to Old Faithful, as it were, Tetractors for this week. So the first card is the Two of Swords. Okay, let me show you that. Sorry. The first card, Two of Swords. The next card is the Four of Cups. Four of Cups. We have the High Priestess, and the High Priestess is a card of secrets, of keeping things in. Then we have the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is all about balance, of rewards, of things coming to you. The next card we have there is the Five of Cups. Then we have the High Priest, or the Hierophant, which is the card of Taurus, resources, earth, stability. Then we have the Two of Wands, choices again. And the choice is Hanged Man. You're in balance. You're very comfortable in whatever position that is. Oh, and then we have the Moon. So we go back to the Moon, Ketu and Venus in Scorpio. And then we have the Knight of Cups. Interesting. The cards have definitely aligned to the transit of the Grahas and what we just spoke about. So let us see for this week what the cards are going to tell us in relation to the transit of the Grahas, aligning them in this video for you. Okay, the first three energy cards that I'm going to deal with are Quest, Venus, and Water. And Quest is from the throat chakra, Vishuddha. It's all about speech, communication, Mercury. And here we see an old woman with a young fellow standing in front of her, and she seems to be on a path that is colored navy, so a path of communication. So, and it represents that you wanting to go on a journey that may not be necessary, that you may think you want to experience new things, but that your path in life is right here. Where do you want to go? Do you want to traverse unknown trails, or as in the swampy areas behind you, or on that trail that you think will bring you something new? And this is something too that we have an older person, and it really represents the oldest person in a village or a community, or the oldest person that and this youngster is telling her that the path is right in front of her. So sometimes our guru may not come in the form of the chief or the elder in the community. It may very well come from the youth and from the child in front of us, so that we may have to think differently on this quest, on this journey that we want to undertake. And Venus is, one of the keywords of Venus is harmonizing. So that probably we need to harmonize our mental faculties with the thought that not that elders don't know it all, that sometimes the truth comes from the innocent child or from the youngster in the community, that he or she may guide us and give us a new pathway, or show us that we don't need a new pathway, that we need to traverse the pathway that is in front of us and strengthen that pathway, and that the present is where we are and the present is where we should be, that we shouldn't be in the past or in the future right now, that we should be dealing with the present. And the water element here, yes, it's about emotions, it's about hidden depths or feelings, but it's also about cleansing and healing and listening, and having that knowledge to heal, and having that consciousness and conscience to understand that water flows everywhere, so that everywhere it flows you can gain knowledge. And right now the youth and the young in our society may have the knowledge that we need to traverse the path that we are supposed to traverse, that is in front of us. harmonize yourself with new thoughts and new feelings and your gut instinct that will give you the path of life from the innocent child in front of you. And the focus this week tells us about the 6th house and the 11th house. And remember, in the transit of grahas, I spoke about the 3 rasis or the zodiac signs that have movement for this week, and that would have been Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio. So, any one of these rasis or signs your 6th or 11th house? Because it is telling us that we have to focus on compassion with the Buddha coming up, who is the Lord of compassion, non-violence, meditation, yoga, our service to others, or our serving others. And this week we should think about that. What can we do to others? What knowledge can we pass on to them? Can we pass on the knowledge from our past or our present? We don't have the knowledge of our future yet. We can have potential parts, but our associations will take us there. Our freedoms, our choice and circle of friends, are they keeping secrets from us, or are we supposed to be keeping secrets from them, or should we be telling them our secrets? The cards tell you no, to hold back a little bit, this week on your secrets, and hold your communication, because Mercury is chaotic. Mercury is all over the place. So if any one of these houses are your 6th or 11th house, then that is what the message from the deities are telling us. Hold your horses, as it were, in terms of communication, in terms of your secrets, in terms of what you hold dear to you, security and your service to others are what you should be concentrating on. How can you serve others in your community? How can you serve them in giving them knowledge, in giving them compassion in a non-violent way? Don't, as we say, tap up somebody here in the Caribbean. Just sit with them, have a conversation, or understand that what you might be observing or secrets that are coming out, that you may need to act accordingly, because remember, we have the water element there, and that those are secrets, hidden depths that we can't see. The god of the underworld is now direct. Pluto has come off his retrograde in the Capricorn zodiac sign, which is all about governance, institution, the masses, structure, discipline, and which is the house where Saturn, the Lord judge, the karmic judge, is there to judge us. So what are we going to be judged on for this week if we don't show compassion or understand that there are certain things that we need to meditate upon before we can communicate to others and to ourselves about their potential for us? And I just want to deal with the Three of Pentacles. Remember that card that jumped out of me when I was dealing with the selection of the deities and the energies, and the Three of Pentacles came out, and it speaks about, mentors, teamwork, apprentice, material growth, building on solid foundations, commitment, dedication, recognition of achievements. And this is what we are talking about. The graha of the card is Saturn, and Saturn, the zodiac sign, is Capricorn. And remember, Jupiter is in Capricorn right now. Saturn is also in his own house in Capricorn. So that you need structure and discipline, you need that productivity, that commitment, and it really is something that you need to focus on, because at the end of the day, you don't have that energy. Mars is combust. Mars is not in a good place for this week, so that you don't have the energy and the action and the passion to move forward. But your emotions, your dedication, your mentorship, how you study, you learn, how you grow, this is what is all about for this week. And it's all about your mental capacity. all about how you think and how you deal with persons. It deals with your emotions, the water element, to have compassion, to have that healing energy with you today. Lord Shiva is the divinity of the chakra, and Lord Shiva destroys to bring something new to you. So what it is new that is going to be coming to you through your dedication and your compassion? Is it going to be recognitions of your achievement? Is it that efforts are paying off, that you are building your goals, and you are renovating your home, you are renovating yourself, as it were, bringing in a new you? Don't be careless in your work. Don't, have shoddy workmanship. Don't look and make mistakes in your planning. Take your time, take your energies on a structured basis. Take your energies in terms of your needs and your mental wants and your communication into discipline, so that your production can be long term, your craftsmanship, that your outcomes can have quality rather than quantity. So the Three of Pentacles is telling you, dig deep, let your roots go down in the earth, let it be flexible still, that you can grow from it. Because when you dig deep and you do the correct thing and your foundation is solid, you are going to have that for the rest of your life. So take that and recognize what you have to do. Right, we have come to the tetractys spread that I'm using for this week, and we see the Two of Swords, the Four of Cups, and the High Priestess. And these three cards represent, one, the theme or the premise, the foundation of the entire reading, and two, the essential principles of light and dark that have come into the reading for us to analyze. So let us take a closer look at this. Okay, we have come here with the Two of Swords, and the Graha of the Two of Swords is Venus. And this card represents the theme, the foundation, the premise of the entire reading for the tetractys spread. And remember, we have Venus with Ketu and Moon in the transit of the Grahas, in the natural 8th house of transformations, of occult, of spirituality, of secrets hidden, of lottery and in-laws. And this is telling us here, the Two of Swords telling us that we have to make mental decisions. It's going to be stressful and painful, but there, we are at cross purposes. We have blinded ourselves to the choices that we have, and we are riding blind on the truths. We know that there are hidden secrets. We know we have to make a decision, and we just we're there, and our intelligence, because swords is the intelligence, it's the strategies, the intrigue, the action, of that we know we have to take, and that is what swords represent. And the Two of Swords tells us we have choices. We have choices, and we have to face our fears and make those choices. And the choices are that we may or may not know the hidden secrets, or that there may or may not be secrets, but we have to take that mental capacity that we have this week, that strength that we have, that Moon is there with Ketu, that the spirits will guide us, because Buddha is the Lord of compassion, so that our decisions will hold with the Lord of compassion. He'll have compassion for us and where we want to go. So think about it, sit on it, but you are at cross purposes. You are denying of what you have to do. You are actually sitting on the fence, but the intelligence is there and the strategies are there for you to make your choices to move ahead this week. The dark side of the cosmic forces that are affecting your state of being comes through with the Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups are there, that you see one has gone, but three remains. And you just, you have not looked at it. You are tired, you are fatigued, you are depressed. You're looking at the glass is half empty rather than half full. You have disinterest in what around you. And the Graha of the card here is Moon. The element is water. So that at the end of the day, it's telling you that your mentality and your mood is being affected by the outside sources, outside and external people or interests that may be surrounding you, and that you really, it's dark, and you shouldn't really be, looking at daydreaming or having the missed opportunities, because it's all there in front of you. The dark forces are probably hiding it from you, and this is where Venus and Moon comes in again in Scorpio, the sign of secrets. So understand that the cards are telling you, you have, even though one has gone, something has left, you still have three remaining there, and they are all standing upright and full. Why are you feeling that, you are like a hungover and detached? Don't be. Things are good for you, but you are letting your mental um, intrusions cover or blind you to what you have. The High Priestess is the light part of the cosmic forces or the essential principles guiding you. And again, the Graha of this card is Moon. The element is water. So it's all about your mentality this week. It's all about how you think and how you view things and how you analyze things in your mind. What are the issues that you are bringing up? And the High Priestess tells you that, you have a veil in front of you, restricting you from understanding that you have fertility of the mind, and that there is birth, life after death, that you must make that balance. You must understand that you have to have mercy and severity also. While mercy comes from Buddha, the Lord of compassion, the severity comes from Lord Shiva in previous cards, where you know that something must be destroyed to be created anew or have rebirth. And this is also about the earth. There is stability here, dominion over mind, which is what the moon in this card is showing, that you have dominion over mind. And at the end of the day, there's a duality of balance that you need to meet or treat with. And both the light and dark cosmic forces deals with the moon, and the moon is in Scorpio with Ketu and Venus. So that think things through, or understand that your thinking may not be right this week, or good to think about things and then take action on them. And probably you just have to rest, and probably your mind will guide you that, this is not the right way or the correct way, or do I really want to say that, or, because Mercury is there, chaotic and up and down, and your speech or your communication may not be clear, or it may be very divisive. So moon seems to be a recurring factor for this week, and we will find out at the end of the week where moon stays for us, so we can analyze it as to the entire week. Let's move on. This next three cards show us the spiritual forces that are within us, or that are guiding us this period for the October 10th to the 24th. And we have the Eight of Wands, the Five of Cups, and the High Priest, or as we normally call it too, the Hierophant. So let's see what these cards bring about in spiritual forces with the Destroyer, Sustainer, and Creator energies. The Eight of Wands sits in the Destroyer part of this spread, and the Destroyer tells us what needs to be removed to move forward. So what it is we need to be removed, and the Graha of the card here is Jupiter. The element is Agni, fire. So that what it is that needs to be removed, we need to remove action. We need to be stress-free and trouble-free. We need to not be obsessed, and we need to travel across water to make that change and have that transformation, because the Eight of Wands really is about hard work paying off. It's about quick action, and with Jupiter being debilitated in Capricorn, or weak in Capricorn, because Jupiter is debilitated up to 5 degrees in Capricorn, if I recall correctly, and Jupiter being weak tells us that, you know, the guidance may not be there from the elders, from the gurus. And remember, we also had that quest card with the youth and the innocence of the youth guiding us and telling us that this may be the new way for us to achieve that balance, that reward, so that the activity and our action should be guided by the young ones and those that are upcoming in society, and the communication that we have maybe not with the elders this week, but with the younger ones who would have a fresh sight, or a fresh idea that we can take and run with it on a path that is present with us for the period, and not at a path that we feel we know. It can be an unnecessary travel or a journey that we want to take if we are not guided properly. And the Eight of Wands tells us that we have a strong position. You know, the wind is in our sails, and that, you know, you think on your feet, but then your mind is clouded. So that is why you have, you know, this juxtaposition of should I or shouldn't I, with the Two of Swords, the choices. The cards are there to guide you and enable you, but it always comes to you. And the premise and theme, remember, of this spread is the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords, the swords deals with intelligence and your thinking, which is moon, you know, your mind and your analytical ability. And your mind currently starts off on the 10th of October with moon in Scorpio, surrounded by Ketu and Venus. So it seems that, you know, your mind is not clear, or you need to clear it, and guidance can be sought from the youth and from innocence rather than the gurus, because Jupiter is weak in Capricorn. The Five of Cups sits in the sustainer role in this spread. And the Five of Cups, like the Four of Cups, you know, shows that you have turned your back into what is still standing for you and what is still strong for you. You are sad, you are in deep sorrow, and you need to not have that sorrow or that trauma or that despair, because you should not be in mourning. While there are five cups, cups are falling around you, you still have cups standing. There is no abandonment. Mars is there. Mars is weak. You know, you are emotional about it. Again, water, Jala, the element is coming in here. The zodiac sign is Scorpio here, so that the sustainer is telling you that, you know, while some things have been lost, don't turn your back on what you still have. Don't feel guilt. Don't feel self-blame, because, you know, you still have, don't cry over the spilled milk. You have a legacy, and that legacy still shows you a smooth road in front of you, abundance in terms of the greenery, and a standing castle. You know, the bridge that you have to cross will take you to that castle, but you can make it, because there is nothing in front of you stopping you from making it. Lift your head and understand that your emotions are overwhelming you. Take that deep breath, because of the Manipura chakra, the solar plexus chakra. Get that fire and that power and that vitality going for you. You know that Mars is there, combust, and it's going to change eventually. You know, there's going to be change. The longest rope, as we say, has an end. And take that road, cross that bridge, so that you can go home and be comfortable. Don't be broken. Don't be pained. You know, have no remorse or regret, because things that have left you or fallen apart or fallen down are what was supposed to be removed from your life, in terms of the destroyer. And that what helps you maintain your balanced life is you understanding that you still have a way to go, you still have a bridge to cross, but you are going to reach home and you are going to be comfortable. The Hierophant, or the High Priest, in this tarot spread speaks to the Creator. Well, you know, we are going to explore what drives us in that new direction, because it tells us that the Hierophant talks about change, it talks about transformation. And lo and behold, the Graha of the card is Venus. And where is Venus sitting in the transit of the Grahas? for the period October 10 to the 24th in Scorpio, the natural 8th house of the Kala Purush, the natural house of secrets, of transformation, of occult, of spiritual growth and development. And it also tells us that the three worlds are here, and it's repeated quite a few times, you know, and that we are here, heaven, hell, and earth is right here, because the element on this card here is earth, Prithvi, and it talks about Taurus, you know, which is a fixed earthly sign. So that yes, we have the resources and everything is right here for us. And like the high priestess, it tells us about severity and mercy, but it also gives us leadership, so that we have to lead by our mind, we have to lead by our thoughts, and we have to lead by our thinking. And you know, that passion and desire will give us that reset. So it's coming. It's coming for us to create. Mars is not helping us right now, being combust in Virgo with Sun and Mercury and the ascendant, but it's coming. We are going to meet what we have manifested, and it tells you here we are manifesting communication through spiritual modes. So that sit, meditate, let us manifest what we need to transform into, to have that change, that our future can be bright. Next four cards, which is the final layer in the tetractys spread, speaks of earth, water, air, and fire. It is the material world. So earth is our stability, our grounding, you know. Water is our emotions, air is our intelligence, and fire is our creative force with will and ambition. So where are these cards taking us in that? How do we particularly react to the spiritual forces that we just saw, the cosmic forces that we went through, and the whole premise of this choice, of this strategy, of the intuition that brings us from the Two of Swords, which is the foundation of this spread. The Two of Wands tells us how we are coping with everyday life. It sits in the earth portion of the material world that we have to deal with, and that foundation, that stability, is telling us that we have the world in our hands. And the two wands that we see, there is growth on the wands. Those green leaves tell us, you know, that we don't have anything to fear, because it's growing, it's developing, it's fertile. And that while we are being at the crossroads, that we don't know which choice to make, the Two of Swords and the Two of Wands in a reading, when you have a double two, it's opposition. There is a parting of ways. So are you leaving home? Are you leaving your job? Is it that you are parting ways with someone? Are you into a new relationship? How are you coping with the everyday life? What are the choices you are going to make that you have to part ways with something? Because we have the Two of Swords, as I said, and we have the Two of Wands, and this means opposition. So while the premise is that, you know, we have to make choices, the opposition says that there are choices to be made, and we know it. We know it because we have the world in our hands, and our aspirations and our partnerships tells us that we need to negotiate and we need to take that step. Mars is the graha of the card here, and Mars is weak, and probably that's why you are back and forth as to whether you're taking the choice or not, and you're coping right now and not feeling very comfortable, because the Mars is not giving you that passion and that action and that vitality, because he is being overrun by sun and the illumination that is sun, the heat that is being generated from sun. So coping may not be issue. In fact, it is an issue this period, because Mars is weak and you are opposing your own self. You are thinking one way and you can't take action on what you're thinking, because you don't have the energy to do it. So this is where the opposition comes out from in terms of the Two of Swords and the Two of Wands. The hangman sits in the position, or hangs in the position, of the water, our emotions. And in the material world, how do we deal with it? And the element here is water. The graha of the card is Neptune, and remember, Neptune is the god of the sea, of the hidden depths, of the secrets. And where do we have Venus and Ketu and Moon? right there in Scorpio, the natural 8th house. So that right now your emotions are balanced. You really, you are comfortable in not doing anything, and probably because Mars is weak, you feel that you're in a good place, so you just hanging around. Your feet is crossed and your hands are behind your back in a very comfortable position. Your intellect and optimism is there, that halo around your head is there, but you just don't care to do anything. You're just hanging around this week. Your emotions are giving you that guidance and that telltale emotional stability that will bring or not bring comfort and peace or hesitation or imbalance. So the Hanged Man is in the emotional era where you are letting your emotions guide you this week, and you are taking a rest. You don't feel to create anything. But the confinement of this is going to be temporary, because you remember emotions flow, and they flow away or they flow towards you. So how are these emotions flowing for you this week? And we have the moon in the position of the air of the current strategies and thoughts that you are going to have for the period. And it says here, mystery enemies, your emotions. And again, it comes back to severity and mercy. And remember, we had the high priestess and the high priest, the hierophant. So this moon, these three cards are aligning themselves in terms of the cosmic forces, the spiritual forces, and the material world that you are dealing with. So your mind is in all three areas of the spread for this week. Your mind is being controlled. Your mind is not your own this week, because your mind in the spiritual forces tells you that it has secrets, the high priestess. Your mind in the cosmic forces tells you the same. So at the end of the day, you are overwhelmed by emotions for this period of October 10th to the 24th. And the card here is Jupiter for the Graha. And it remember, Jupiter again is weak. And we also had the 6th and the 11th house coming into play. And the 6th house is all about enemies, and enemies on your daily routine or your work. And it's hidden enemies, enemies that you cannot see, So think about how your emotions are really going to impact on you for the period, because they are in all areas in the spread. As I said, you have the high priestess, you have the high priest or the hierophant, and now you have the moon. And it all deals with the air element, which is intellect, strategies, thoughts, mind, emotions, your analysis of things. So that it's all guided by your mind. And if your mind is being offset by secrets, then how are you going to make decisions? How are you going to move forward? And it really is the moon that you need to look at, and your mind, and understand what you know and what you don't know. Think, think, and think. And finally, the Knight of Cups in the spread tells you about your will and ambition. And you, as the Knight of Cups, you want to bring something good to us. You want to bring control to us, but you feel that you are not there in the situation. Your vision may be clouded. You are trying not to be too smothering, and you want to take things slowly. But at the end of the day, you are making a move. You are chasing or searching for something. Is it love? Because cups is all about emotion. So what it is you are searching for, what it is that your mind tells you to do. Is it that you are searching for material resources, or is it you're searching for love? Because the cups represents water, emotions, love, healing, your consciousness. The Graha of the card here, however, is Mars. And Mars wants to take action, but remember, Mars is very weak and combust for the period of October 10th to the 24th. So that at the end of the day, how are you going to cope with this message that you want to bring? Because knights are really people. They are heroes who come towards you or journey towards you after they have victory at a battle. So what is the battle that we have fought? What is the battle that we have to fight? for the period that we have to fight is our own minds, our own emotions, our own feelings. We have to get control of them so that they don't overwhelm us, so that we could see the messages that come from people who love us in our circle in the 11th house, you know, in our friendships, our communications, our network. We can gain freedom by not being overwhelmed by the emotions, where we can have a calm and gentle approach that may be necessary for this period. So again, it tells you emotions needs to be controlled. Your will and ambition is that you want to get a message from your loved ones, or that you want to send a message, but you are tied up, you don't know how to do it properly, because while you are thinking all kind of things, you are not making the decision to send that message for you to move on and for you to be visited by those whom you love and who love you. And we come back to the transit of the grahas, showing us the position of the planets on the 24th of October, the end of this period that this video encapsulates. And what are the changes we're seeing? We are seeing that Mercury is no longer retrograde, and Mars, Sun, and the ascendant has moved from Virgo into Libra. And Mars is there again with Sun, and the ascendant still combust. The ascendant and the Sun are in the same degree, and Mars is at 2 degrees Libra. So Mars is still combust. So we are still weak, but there might be balance, because we have the Aura Lagna and the Ghati Lagna here, which I spoke about in previous videos. And we have Jupiter and Saturn no longer retrograde. So these are the changes that we are having now, and Saturn now is going to be the judge. He's going to be the karmic lord that is going to judge you. Jupiter is there also, no longer retrograde. Jupiter is direct and will be heading back into Aquarius, so that we are going to have some little changes. We are going to have some clear guidance. We are going to now have the energies and the clear communicative path that we need to do to express ourselves, so that, you know, if you want to send that message through the Knight of Cups, wait until the end of the period, around October 24th, before you send out those messages, or before you make a report on anything. Your communication will be totally better, because Mercury will be at 19 degrees Virgo and not retrograde, and it will be in Hasta Nakshatra and continues to have that. And Hasta is the golden hand, you know, so that whatever you say now, you are going to be rewarded. You might have that clear path in front of you to communicate properly. So the Knight of Cups is telling you probably to wait until the end of the period before you send out those messages. So that these are the changes we have. And we also have Rahu sitting with the moon at the end of the period, and that tells us there is an eclipse. So that we'll deal with that at the appropriate time, because just know that there's that eclipse, because Rahu overshadows Sun and the moon. So that we have those solar eclipse and moon and lunar eclipse, so that the moon here is not going to feel very comfortable. But moon is sitting in 19 Taurus, and that I believe is in Rohini. So that remember that is the exaltation of moon. Moon is very comfortable in Rohini. In fact, that is the best nakshatra that moon likes, the red one, as we see. So that will be from the next period that we will look at Rahu and moon and how they conjoin or being overshadowed to give you some kind of insight. As with everything, and coming to the finalization and closure of this video, Bhagwan's blessings has brought me here, and I would like to thank you and ask that you share, you sign up, you subscribe. May God be with you for this period and guide you and bless you. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye.